Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Islamic Content Podcast. Sorry for not recording the video right now because I was kind of tired and I wanted to do this like chill video. Although I don't know how chill it's gonna be. It's gonna be pretty juicy. So yeah, I'm back with another video on Hinduism. Today we're discussing Shivling.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Basically, Shivling is a type of structure that is a very weird type of structure that many Hindus in the subcontinent worship. It's basically supposed to represent Shiva. So basically, it's something that's worshipped by worshippers of Shiva or that kind of people. So you might, if you have ever been in India, you might have seen this structure. It basically looks like a round shaped thing. And people like put milk on top of it or like flowers on top of it. And today we're going to talk about what that thing actually is. And it's going to be very, very interesting. So in case you guys don't know, there is a lot of conflicting theories about what this thing actually represents. There are some who say that this is actually the penis of Shiva. And then there's another theory which is that, it's just like some kind of metaphysical kind of like weird thing. Now, if you look at all the evidences, you will definitely come to the conclusion that this is just the penis of Shiva.
You serious?
I don't make this stuff up.
There are stories of exactly how this thing came to be worshipped in Hindu society. Now, again, another disclaimer. Not all Hindus worship this. It is only particularly aimed at people who worship this Shivlinga specifically. And then I'm going to explain why this is problematic. So let's read a bunch of stories from the Purana and see where this idea of worshipping a genital actually came from. So in Shiva Purana, Kotrida Shamita 4 chapter 12 verse 8 to 51, it says, once the leading Brahmin devotees of Shiva, engrossed in the meditation of Shiva, went into the forest for bringing sacrificial twigs. In the meantime, Shiva himself, assuming a very hideous form, came there in order to test their devotion. He was a very brilliant but stark naked. He had smeared ashes all over his body. As the sole ornament, standing there and holding his penis, he began to show all sorts of vicious tricks.
What? What the
Cool.
Oh boy. I wonder what tricks he showed with his penis. But anyway. Hinduism was wild, man. I mean, like this reads like a parody of a porn movie. Oh boy. Anyway, so yeah, so Shiva basically came down and he started showing magic tricks with his penis. And then it says, it was with a mind to do something pleasing to the forest dwellers that Shiva favoriting of the devotees, came to the forest at his will. The wives of the sages were extremely frightened at this sight, rightfully so. The other women, excited and surprised, approached the Lord. Some embraced him. Others held his hand. The women were engrossed in struggling with one another. When the naked sage did not reply, the great sages told that horrible Purusa, you are acting pervertedly. And he is. This is basically sexual assault. He's going around naked, touching his penis and just like annoying woman. I mean, like, I don't know what else to say, what else to call this. And then they said, this violates the Vedic path. Hence, let your penis fall on the ground. When they said that, thus the penis of the Avadut, who was Shiva of wonderful form, fell down instantly. So this guy's dick just fell down because they said so. Okay, makes sense. That penis burned everything in front. So not only did it fall down, not only did his penis fall down, it actually burned everything. Wherever it went, it began to burn everything there. It went to Patala, and it went to heaven. It went all over the earth. It never remained steady anywhere. When the naked sage did Brahma said, let the gods propitiate goddess Parvati and pray. If she can assume the form of a vaginal passage, that penis will become steady. So basically they're saying that, Parvati, who's like the wife of Shiva, I think, if she can become like a vagina, then then his wild dick, which is going around destroying everything, is gonna become calm. Can you just imagine like a wild penis just running around? Oh my god. She can assume, and then they're saying, asking his like wife to become like a vaginal passage. Anyway, so that his wild penis becomes like steady. The penis shall be drenched with that water, O great sages. When the sprinkling is made with Chhatra Darya mantras, it will become stable. Parvati in the form of vaginal passage, and an auspicious arrow shall form as the pedestal where in the pulus shall be installed in accompaniment of the Vedic mantras. After propitiating Parvati and the bull-bannered Lord and performing the rites mentioned before, the excellent penis becomes static. Shiva became delighted, and so also Parvati, the mother of the universe. The Fulus was held by her in that form then. It's translated by T.R.J.L. Shastri. So yeah, you can read about this story. I'll give you the link to the Shiva Purana. You can read it there. Now obviously a lot of Hindus are gonna speak a bunch of nonsense about this and say that, but the Puranas are not reliable. I already made a video where I demonstrated why the Puranas are part of Hinduism, and there's nothing here that contradicts the Vedas per se. So yes, completely acceptable in Hindu religion. So yeah, but the most ridiculous thing here is that now obviously from like a mythological point of view, it's like a very funny story. But if you're being tempted to like trying to take it seriously, basically what the story is saying is that their god, he was overcome by his own creation. This makes no sense. I mean, like, how can you have a god who's all powerful, then at the same time not be all powerful and come to earth, and then lose his penis? That makes no sense. So it leads to like a contradiction, right? And this is one of the main problems of Hinduism, this idea of anthropomorphism. So in case you guys don't know, anthropomorphism is the idea is that God is just like his creation. But obviously this is an illogical concept. The reason it's illogical is because if you build a house, obviously the nature of that house will not be the same as your nature, right? So same thing here. If there is a God, he will be nothing like his creation. He just won't be. So, and he'll be perfect. He will be all powerful because he has to be. And this is why you can never have this type of concept of anthropomorphism, a morphistic concept of God can never be real because it's just illogical. It doesn't make sense. And that's one of the main problems in the Hindu religion, which is that they have this concept of anthropomorphism, and it's rampant. It's like crazy. However, here's the funny part. In other areas in Hinduism, they do actually admit, at least in Vedic tradition, they do admit that God is nothing like his creation. And yet, here you have stories where God is just like his creation. So it's just kind of stupid and dumb. But the thing is that anthropomorphism isn't simply limited to this idea of like these stories of gods like coming down to earth and doing the stupid things. It goes beyond that. Like for example, when you build like an idol or a statue and that worship that, that is also a form of anthropomorphism, because you're literally giving God a human form and then worshipping it. Even if you think that that is not literally, God per se, you're still thinking that you're reaching God through that, which means it is, part of this Godhead, right? Which means, again, a type of anthropomorphism, which means that, they're thinking that God is just like his creation, or God can be in his creation. And in Padma Purana, it basically, in chapter 17, verse 262 to 265, it says, the Gayatri, the giver of bones, said to Rudra, those men who will worship your genital organ in the form of phallus, even though it had fallen, began being purified and earning merit, thereby will share heaven. That state which men get by worshipping your genital organ in the form of phallus cannot be held. By maintaining sacred fire or offering oblation into it, those who will in the early morning worship your genital organ in the form of phallus with a believer leaf will enjoy the world of Rudra. So yeah, basically this Purana verse is saying that people should worship his penis, which is beyond ridiculous, but I rest my case. Now, a lot of people will deny that and say that, it's not the penis, it's the Sanskrit, this and that, and all these other kind of mental gymnastics. But here's the thing. If you look at some of the pictures of the oldest temples, for example, one of the oldest Shiva Lingam that has been found is from the 3rd century. It's called Godemalam Shivling. It's literally from 3rd century, which is like 300 years before Jesus was born. And if you look at this temple, or you look at this like Shivling, it looks exactly like a penis. Exactly like a penis. Not only does it look like a penis, it looks like a circumcised penis. And there are many, many temples like this, ancient temples, where you can clearly see the lingam looks exactly like a penis. Now, I understand like this whole story being mythical and whatnot, but how do you deny the fact that people actually worshipped, Shiva's penis? There's no way to deny this. Especially if you look at all these pictures, you can clearly see that people in the past did worship penis of Shiva. And there's no denying this. This is something that happened. This is a historical reality. So no matter any kind of mental gymnastics that many Hindu bhakts or Hindus, Shiva worshippers may come up with, the truth is that, they worship Shiva's penis. There's no way to like sugarcoat this. That's what it is. And when you compile like these stories from the Purana, and because you need to understand, the Purana stories are basically oral stories that was written down. And when you couple this with the fact that there are many ancient temples where you have these Shiv Lingams that looks exactly like a penis, I think it's pretty logical to conclude that, Shiv Lingam is Shiva's penis, okay? And the thing that surrounds it is supposed to be this vaginal thing. Now, to be fair to Hindus, I will say that this is probably the case, that this is probably just some kind of allegorical, metaphorical story. And this is supposed to be like to represent like, some kind of metaphysical thing, let's say something like yin and yang or something, right? I can get by that, right? I can understand that. But here's the thing. Many Hindus, to this day, worship this thing instead of God himself. Now, why would you do that? Why would you disrespect your God like that? Don't you guys claim to be like monotheists? Don't many of you Hindus claim to be monotheists? Then what the hell is this? This is not monotheism. And so I humbly request, like many Hindus, anyone who's watching, to realize that this Hinduism is a corrupted religion. You can clearly see all these kind of man-made ideas that has corrupted into the religion. I do understand that there are messages that are very similar to Islam, and I don't deny them. And I do know that there are concepts of monotheism in Hinduism. But those concepts get completely diluted when you look at all this kind of man-made nonsense that has been mixed into this.
What I mean here is that it's possible that Hinduism is an extremely corrupted form of Islam. It's very much possible that all of these ideas are corrupted versions of what many past prophets of Islam have preached, but it got corrupted just like Christianity and Judaism. Either way, Allah knows best.
I don't think this has anything to do with like the Vedic religion in terms of how it originally was. And as a matter of fact, many Hindus will even admit that the Vedic religion had nothing to do with like linga worship and all this other kind of nonsense. And I have already made a video where I'm making a playlist where I'm trying to show how the Quran is the word of God. And hopefully that those video series will convince you that Quran is the word of God. Then you can use the Quran as a criteria to look at any religion. My next offline video would probably be on Sadhguru and his nonsense. So I'll see you guys then, inshallah. Thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, like, share, subscribe, and don't feel free to if you want to support the channel, feel free to become a Patreon or member. And yeah, and inshallah see you guys next time. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.